In the headlines, President Muhammadu Buhari orders Emefiele, other political appointees with political ambitions, to resign. Gas explosion kills 3, injures others in Kogi State. Female student beaten, burned to death in Sokoto for blasphemy. Away from Nigeria, leaders commit to more action-oriented partnership at EU-Japan Summit. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the details. President Muhammadu Buhari has ordered the resignation of Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and other political appointees seeking to contest the 2023 elections. The order was given in a circular issued by Boss Mustafa, Secretary to the government of the Federation. Emefiele had been under pressure since some groups purchased the 2023 presidential forms of the ruling All Progressives Congress for him. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State had asked the president to fire him if he failed to step down, while the opposition People's Democratic Party also demanded his arrest over his interest in the 2023 elections. On Wednesday, 3 of the 9 ministers seeking to contest the 2023 elections quit the cabinet. The national leader of the All Progressives Congress and former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, has expressed confidence that he will clinch the party's presidential ticket. Tinubu stated this while interacting with delegates of the party in Kaduna State as part of preparation for the primary election. The presidential hopeful noted that with support from the state, victory was sure for him.
For us at the national level, there's no time we don't think about you. That's the truth. We listen to the news, we pay attention to the events, we share the pain of parents and families, and some of whom are still in captivity. May Allah give solace and peace to those who are still harrowing in expectation of the release of those who had been abducted.
Away from that, President Muhammadu Buhari has appealed to the Academic Staff Union of Universities to call off the ongoing strike in the interest of students. The president made the appeal Thursday at the 19th National Productivity Day and conferment of the National Productivity Order of Merit Award on 48 eminent Nigerians and organizations in both the public and private sectors for their high productivity, hard work, and excellence. Buhari, who is in a statement issued by his spokesman, Femi Adesina, urged ASU to consider the plight of students, also called on students in public tertiary institutions to be patient as government strives to address the nagging issues in the nation's university system within the ambit of the resources available. Nigerian students Wednesday besieged the National Secretariat of the All Progressives Congress, APC, carrying placards protesting the purchase of multi-million naira forms by politicians in the face of lingering strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that the protesting students who presented a protest letter to the national leadership of the party also want the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to investigate the buyers.
Solidarity forever. Nigerian students under the auspices of the National Association of Nigerian Students are taken, a protest to the National Secretariat of the ruling All Progressives Congress, having concerns with regards to their continuous stay at home while millions of naira are being coughed out by politicians to purchase forms running into billions of naira. Let's hear from the arrowhead of this protest, what they have in terms of the message across the leadership of this country.
Okay, yes, we came here for three things. One is to submit a petition. Two is to tell the APC, that is the ruling party, that we are not happy for our continuous stay at home as regards to ASU strike when politicians are doffing out millions of naira to buy political funds.
But you're equally aware that the Nigerian government has issued, billions of naira, also running into around 400 billion naira or thereabout to the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, but yet they are yet to down tool. Are you also not concerned about that?
See, them doffing out money to ASU has not been made very open to us. All we know that the money was given to church fund for infrastructural development in campuses. That's all we know about that one.
So isn't that a move to
it is not yet enough. It's not yet enough, because if it's enough, by now we should be in our classrooms. So it's not yet enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, this is the National Publicity Secretary of the National Association of Nigerian Students, explaining why they are here at the National Secretariat of the APC with their placards demonstrating. They're asking the party to intervene, for continuous stay at home while millions of naira or billions of naira are being realized as a process of buying and purchasing of nomination forms for the 2023 general elections. From the National Secretariat of the APC, Shapil Suleiman, Trust TV News.
Kaduna-based Reverend Father Joseph Akete Bako, who was kidnapped in March, has died in captivity. Commenting on his death, Chancellor, Catholic Archdiocese of Kaduna, Reverend Father Christian Okeu Emmanuel, said the victim fell sick in captivity. He said the cleric died as his abductors did not allow him to take his drugs. Bako was abducted when gunmen invaded St. John Catholic Church, Kudenda, in Chikun local government area of the state on March 8, 2022. Catholic Archbishop of Kaduna, Most Reverend Matthew Ndagoso, extend his condolence to the bereaved family. At least 4 people have been killed in an attack on Oyilamo town in Logo local government area of Benue State. Reports say that the gunmen stormed the community, broke into homes and shot 4 people to death and left others injured. As at the time of filing this report, police spokesperson in the state, SP Catherine Anene, has not responded to calls and messages. 3 persons were found dead and many others injured in an explosion in Kaba, the headquarters of Kaba Bunu local government area of Kogi State. An eyewitness said that the incident occurred at a beer parlor around Leu Junction, Kaba, on Wednesday around 9:45 p.m. The Kogi State Commissioner of Police, CP Edward Ebuka, who confirmed the incident, said that it was a gas explosion and not a bomb blast, as was being reported in some quarters. A statement by the Police Public Relations Officer of the State Command, SP William Ovie Oya, on behalf of the Commissioner, said the lady was killed. Taraba State Governor Darius Ishaku has expressed shock over the killing of 6 soldiers of the 93 Battalion Takum in an ambush by bandits during a military operation in Takum local government area of the state. He also expressed worry about the fate of the commanding officer of the battalion, who was declared missing after the operation. Governor Ishaku said the attack on civilians and police officers in Takum, which prompted the reaction of the soldiers from the 93 Battalion, had proved that the bandits had become even more desperate than and the governor in a statement by his media aide, Bala Dang Abu, praised the gallantry of the soldiers led by the commanding officer of the battalion for reacting promptly to the distress calls, but regretted that the operation resulted in the unfortunate death of 6 military officers and the uncertainty over the whereabouts of the commanding officer. Meanwhile, the Senate has bemoaned the recent killing of over 40 persons, including soldiers, by terrorists in the southern part of Taraba State. This resolution followed a point of order by Senator Emmanuel Bwacha. The report.
Citing Order 42 of the Senate Standing Orders 2022 as amended, Senator Kwacha drew the attention of the chamber to the incident of banditry and terrorism which occurred in southern Taraba during the Salah break. He noted that the attackers came on motorbikes and killed over 40 people, including soldiers mobilized to protect the community. The lawmaker condoled with the government and people of Taraba State and the military, describing it as one killing too many.
In the encounter, Mr. President, they hacked down about 6 military men yesterday in the night. As I speak, the CO of the 23 Battalion in Takum has not been found. It's largely believed in the community that he must have been killed among these bandits, or by these bandits, among the officers that he led to confront these bandits. So I'm saying this, that we should know that this thing is spreading across the length and breadth of this country.
The Senate President Hamid Lawa urged Nigerians to support the military by providing the needed motivation and information to enable them to tackle the problem of insecurity in the country.
On behalf of all of us here, I want to sympathize with your senatorial district for the attacks and the loss of life. And I also want to urge Nigerians to continue to support our armed forces because they are doing so much, even though we don't have enough for them. But I believe that the support of citizens for the armed forces will galvanize them and keep them motivated.
A minute silence was observed in honor of all those killed during the attack. In another development, President of the Senate Hamid Lawa has tasked the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) on fairness, justice, and equity as political parties move into the process of party primaries. Lawa gave the charge before adjourning the upper legislative chamber to the 7th of June 2022. He said the chamber was adjourning to enable senators participate actively in the processes leading to the primaries. He urged aspirants across board to accept the outcome of the results, especially if the process is in line with the guidelines of the Electoral Act.
INEC has promised fairness. We are praying for INEC to achieve that fairness, equity, and justice. And of course, we must ensure that 2023 elections are peaceful, that the integrity must never be questioned. For those who will triumph, those who will win, we pray that when they win, they will be good winners. And for those that may not win as much, when they lose or not win as much, they should accept the process, because we expect that the process will be fair and square.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up after the break. Downside of irrigation farming in Katsina. Details and more shortly. Join us again. Thanks for staying. You're watching Trust News Update. Here's a look at the top stories again. President Muhammadu Buhari orders Emefiele, other political appointees with political ambition, to resign. Gas explosion kills 3, injures others in Kogi State. Elsewhere, the Nigerian Army says it is making progress in addressing the nation's security challenges. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, said this at the opening ceremony of the 2022 Combat Arms Training Week in Jaji, Kaduna, northwest Nigeria. Lami Sadiq has more.
The Combined Combat Arms Training Week of the Nigerian Army Infantry Armored Corps is to explore alternative and more impactful method of boosting the operational effectiveness of the Nigerian Army.
As you are all aware, the Combat Arms Training Week is an annual training event organized to appraise the activities of the maneuver arms in their quest to achieve the mission of the Nigerian Army. The event has traditionally mustered distinguished serving and retired personnel of the maneuver arms, as well as other resource persons who have helped to conceptualize effective strategies for enhancing the capability and capacity of the Nigerian Army, especially in this era of heightened national security challenges.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, said, through effective training, proper planning and result-oriented employment of resources, the Nigerian Army is poised to defeat the nation's adversaries.
All the successes we are recording also across board are a reflection of our training. And we continue to improve on this training so that we can continue to improve also on our gains across the theaters of operation and whatever we do. I want to appreciate all the troops for all that they are doing, and what we continue to do is to provide them with necessary skills and competencies, including also requisite equipment and other enablers in order to improve our competencies and our reach to addressing the security challenges.
The theme of the 2022 Combat Arms Training Week is Effective Combat Arms Maneuver, a panacea for success in battle. Lami Sadiq, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The trial of Chidinma Ojukwu, the alleged murder suspect of the Chief Executive Officer of Super TV, Osifo Ataga, before a Lagos High Court sitting at Tafawa Balewa Square, was Thursday stalled due to change of third defendant's counsel. Ojukwu is standing trial bordering on murder, stealing and forgery alongside her sister, Chioma Egbuchu, and one Adedapo Quadri. At the resumed hearing of the trial on Thursday, the counsel to the third defendant, Mrs. J.I. Osegede, who stood in for Mr. O.A. Ogunsanya, informed the court that the office of the public defender was no longer representing Chioma Egbuchu and the third defendant. She said that the third defendant, Chioma Egbuchu, had written them that she no longer needs their services. A yet-to-be-identified student of Shehu Shagari College of Education, Sokoto, was on Thursday morning reportedly burnt to death for allegedly blasphemy. The incident, according to the eyewitnesses, occurred when some Muslim students who were angered by what they deemed blasphemous to Prophet Muhammad dragged her out of her hostel, beat her and set her alight. In March last year, some angry youths in Sade community in Darazo local government area of Bauchi State burnt a man identified as Tale Mairua to death for allegedly insulting Prophet Muhammad. Meanwhile, a Kano Upper Sharia court sitting at Kofar Kudu has ordered the Legal Aid Council of Nigeria to provide legal representation for Abdul Jabbar Kabara. This followed the withdrawal of Abdul Jabbar's counsel, Ambali Obomele, from the ongoing blasphemy case. This is the third time counsel to the embattled cleric will quit the case following disagreement on mode of representation. Kabara has since June last year been arraigned by Kano State government over alleged case of blasphemous statements against the Prophet Muhammad capable of inciting public peace. The case has been adjourned to May 26. Irrigation farmers in Ajua district of Batagarawa local government area of Katsina State could suffer great losses this season as a result of power outages and high cost of diesel and petrol. The epileptic power is compounded by very low voltage, which could hardly power generators to supply enough water to the crops. Abdullahi Ahmadi visited some irrigation sites at Ajiwa Dam and now reports.
Farmers here have planted crops such as wheat, rice, tomatoes, pepper, and other vegetables with high hopes of a bumper harvest. But since the beginning of the season, these hopes are fading away as a result of the epileptic power supply and the skyrocketing cost of diesel and petrol. We have incurred heavy losses because of the shortage of water. There is no diesel to power our generators to supply water to crops, which have now dried off. Farming at Ajiwa Dam is a year-round activity, a situation that guarantees food security, employment generation, and self-reliance. But these power interruptions are technically sacking majority of the farmers from their farms and businesses. I have lost a lot. Crops worth millions of naira have dried off. Rice, wheat, and tomatoes have dried off. I lost cassava worth about 3 million naira. In fact, we lost crops worth 20 million naira. This is how the farms looked when Trust Television visited some few weeks ago. The story is that of a barren land, empty and deserted. The farmers are confused about what to do or what will happen next, as most of them are indebted to banks, individuals, and other financial institutions. The only success story is to those who are fortunate to have their farms close to the dam or any water point good enough to have access to frequent water supply. I did not get anything this season. We have been having good time, but this year, due to water shortage, our rice, wheat, and other crops were destroyed. The manager, Ajiwa Water Works, has a different story other than what the farmers are saying.
Water treatment plant is being written, not irrigation. Only for treatment and human consumption and animal consumption, not for irrigation purpose. I can refer you to GVA and SAPK. That is where we have a water canal being constructed for irrigation. But in Ajiwa, we don't have that facilities here.
This unfortunate situation calls for early planning and implementation, as well as adequate support from the authorities concerned to avert a reoccurrence of this colossal waste. Abdullahi Ismail, Trust Television News, Kazana.
As fill queues persist, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has asked Nigerians to prepare for the worst. Chamung Dabeng speak to the Vice President Ipman Abubakar Megandi for more insight as to why Nigerians should brace up for the worst-case scenario.
Following the dirty fuel saga, which led to cars being damaged and long queues at filling stations, Nigerians must deal with the burden of long hours of waiting at fuel stations yet again. Vice President Ipman Abubakar Megandi sheds more light on the recent scarcity.
Most of the filling stations, there is no fuel, including even major marketers and even NNPC itself. Actually, the reason why we have been saying this thing is what we have been telling the government for a very long time. Because we independent petroleum marketers, we normally go to the private depots and buy the product and come and discharge inside our filling station and sell at the government's stipulated rate. But because of the non-payment of petroleum equalization fund, which has subjected most of our members to be in bankruptcy, that they cannot be able to purchase the product because they doesn't have the fund. The fund is already in the petroleum equalization. Right now, the marketers, petroleum equalization is owing marketers a tune of 500 billion naira. So actually, look at the 500 billion naira in the hands of the government, how do you expect the marketers to bring the products?
The association feels that it is problematic that they are not involved or fully informed on decisions taken by the federal government and the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation.
You know, we have already been telling federal government, let them involve us in the system, especially the NNPC. So, but there are a lot of bureaucracy in the NNPC. They cannot allow marketers to have the information of what is really going on. So in the distribution of change, we are not part of the management decision. Okay. So it's a great problem. Even this diesel, which they said they will give us a palliative of diesel, to be using it so that we can be able to bring the product to the down north and other places. Up to now, they didn't give us. The only thing that we may hear that they distributed AGO, but to whom? It's not coming to the marketers.
According to the chairman, Kano chapter of IPMAN, Bashir Damalam, out of 100%, only 5% of the marketers can supply the petroleum products because of the failure of Nigerian midstream and downstream petroleum regulatory authority to pay them. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Away from Nigeria, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Charles Michel are in Japan for talks that have touched on Russia's invasion of Ukraine and growing concerns about China's role in Asia and beyond. The leaders on Thursday warned that Russia poses the most direct threat to the world order and urged China to play a more constructive role on the international stage as they held talks in Tokyo. The annual summit comes with much of the international community rallying to pressure Moscow over Ukraine. Von der Leyen said that the EU and Japan are stepping up cooperation, including launching a digital partnership that will focus on competitiveness and security. And on sports news, Nigeria Volleyball Federation says 16 teams have expressed interest in the first phase of the National Division 1 League in Abuja. Chairman, Media and Publicity of Nigeria Volleyball Federation, famous Dunegmiga, confirmed that 8 male and 4 female teams have officially registered for Division 1, while 4 others indicated interest. NVBF is still waiting for official confirmation from Nigeria Air Force Rockets, Federal Road Safety Corps Queens, Heartland Queens of Imo State, and Life Camp of Abuja. National Division 1 League will take place at the Indoor Sports Hall of MKO Stadium from 12th to 22nd of May 2022. With that, we wrap up Trust News Updates. You can watch more by connecting with us via all social media platforms and also subscribing to our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.